Brian Manis. He's the product manager of file-based technology for Harmonic Inc. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke with Peter Alexander. He was the chief marketing officer from Harmonic, and he told us about some of the cloud offerings that Harmonic had. And today, Bryant is going to demonstrate those. Now, Bryant's going to jump right into the demo to avoid any kind of problems in going from the webcam to the screen output. So you're not going to see him. But say hello, Bryant.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Okay, there's Bryant, and I'm going to turn it over, click it over to Bryant, who's going to tell us about the cloud offerings from Harmonic. There are three, and he'll explain what they are at the very start of the presentation. So here you go, Bryant. You are live.
Hi, Jan. Thank you for that. We do have three distinct offerings for cloud that we're putting out these days. First one I'd like to talk about is Amazon Web Services Elastic Compute Cloud. This is where Amazon provides the compute power. Harmonic provides the WFS licensing. You configure your own cloud farm and manage it accordingly. It gives a lot of expansion capability, up to about 50 nodes in total. This is great for OpEx projects, or if you have a large library that needs to be converted. You can see here on the screen I have our EC2 environment showing the instances that we have available. Right now we have running is a couple nodes, a controller, and if we look at the interface online, this is the remote desktop connection to WFS on the EC2.
Okay, so just to interrupt for a second, this is when you say WFS, I'm sure anybody who has it knows what it is, but it's the Rosette workflow tool. And the workflow tool does a bunch of different things. It does encoding, it does encryption, it does packaging. So what you're showing here are the different services or servers that are part of the workflow manager that you're gonna supplement with some assets or some resources from Amazon.
Exactly. So what I'm showing here is we have a controller with two nodes, and you can see the different services that are offered for each one. Let me just expand this out. So we've got Carbon as a service, packaging, the controller, QCS, Express for multi-bit rate layer creation for
Okay,
OTT delivery.
QCS is the quality control.
Correct. RMP is, well, it's more of an internal name for our Rosette Media Pipeline, or new 16-bit channel or pipeline for new codecs. Now, if we need to expand on this, all we need to do is go back into our instant configuration. We'll choose node 4. We'll start that up. Just click yes. Now, these have been pre-configured. These don't just come natively configured to work on a farm, so there is some configuration that's required to get this going. But once you do, you can create an AMI and clone it, and it's very quickly expandable. So this is going to take a few moments for these nodes to start up, and once they do, they'll be populated automatically into the farm. The next thing you would want to do is go and select the services that they'll be part of. So that's one offering that we have, and this is completely self-managed and easily expandable if you.
Okay, so let me just interrupt for a second. So tell me about pricing and tell me about cost. So I know I pay by the hour for Amazon computing time. Is that correct? So I'm paying Amazon for the hours, and I'm paying you something for the software?
Right, so depending on the size of EC2 that you select, the compute power you select through Amazon, that will reflect the hourly rate. For us, this is two separate bills, so you pay Amazon the compute power, you pay us for the licensing, and we offer a lease license option, monthly rate, which is the equivalent of 1/18th of the list price, minus discounts, of course.
Is that, when you say list price, is that of, because there's different modules here, so which module would I look at in terms of figuring out the list?
Well, it depends on what services you want. So
Okay.
they're all broken down by services that we have available.
Okay. So that's I've got my workflows very well built up in workflow systems, and I need to supplement that with computing power. This is a great way to kind of plug extra computing power in on a temporary basis.
Exactly. And while these systems are mounting up, we can jump over to our next cloud option, which is through encoding.com.
Okay, good.
So we'll bring that up here. Now, I've got an on-premise uh, farm, which is basically just a single node of WFS. If Let me explain encoding.com how they work. They're more of a encoding service, so transcode as a service rather than a farm that you would configure yourself. Uh, this with encoding.com, you can go to their web interface and put in your sources, your targets, and have them manage the workflows for you. It's also quickly expandable through WFS, which is what we've done here with these two workflows. We have a cloud upload point and a retrieval point. And what this does is allows the user to take any burst transcode need and push it up to encoding.cloud, or excuse me, encoding.com through an on-premise workflow. So here we have our upload path. It's going to a workflow that essentially consists of two objects here. We have an S3 push and then a web command that is sent to encoding.com with some of the specifics about the encoding parameters that we need. So I'll go back here and move this down. And once the transcoding is performed on encoding.com, there's a retrieval workflow that will also bring it back down to wherever you need it, whether it's local or direct delivery to customer site.
Okay, so
go ahead.
When am I going to use this as compared to the first option?
Well, this is less evasive expandability. It's a lot quicker. There's quick expansion through existing workflows. So if you have a small WFS farm, but you have same OpEx opportunity on a project or technology refresh, or if a customer comes to you with a new contract that needs to be fulfilled quickly, you can take these workflows and push them directly up to encoding.com with little to no effort. Whereas with Amazon, you have to build your own farm, you build your own AMIs, you have to manage the farm directly.
Okay, and encoding.com, if you send them 1,000 files, they're in charge of basically doing that as quickly as possible and very low intervention on your part. Can you use a WFS preset when you send it to the cloud?
Well, you use a Carbon preset. We're working to get them more advanced workflows. Right now they are restricted to Carbon workflows. So anything multi-screen based or HEVC based will be available by the end of this year.
Okay, so you basically mean they can encode, but they can't package or encrypt or any of that stuff. They're doing fundamental encoding chores at this point?
Correct, but they're very close to being able to package.
Okay. So with the first option, I can assign any resource to any of those activities. Right now with encoding.com, all I can do is encode.
Correct.
Okay.
But again, we are working to get full functionality from WFS up on encoding.com.
Okay.
And if we jump back quickly to our Amazon EC2, we can see that the two nodes that we've added are now part of the farm and are able to start processing jobs.
Okay, and then the typical spin-up time for most Amazon instances is around 5 to 6 minutes, right? So that's kind of what we just experienced.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we have a third option, which is Carbon MP. And this is a very reduced feature set. This is Carbon, Promedia Carbon as we know it, essentially being leased and subscribable through Amazon's marketplace. And this would be for maybe if you're off-premise and you need to do some transcoding real quick. You're familiar with the Carbon interface. You just go up to your Carbon MP on the marketplace, and you can import workflows and presets from existing carbons you may have locally. This is also a good opportunity or a good environment for post-production houses that may need to do some light transcoding between formats to have continuity on their editing environments.
Okay, so this is, you got a problem, you need it in this format, and it's existing in this format, so you can either buy your own $5,000 ProMedia Carbon, or you can just lease it for however long it takes to do the job.
Right, and the rates are right here on the order page.
Okay, so this is a pay-as-you-go. When I didn't ask about the pricing for encoding.com, how does that work?
Oh, well, we do offer specialized pricing. We're calling it ACE, ACE. It's terabyte based, 1, 10, 25, 50, or 100, and we can go further than that. For 1 terabyte, we estimate about 100 hours of HD content. For the 100 terabytes, close to about 10,000. And the prices range from $1,850 for the first terabyte up to $125,000 for 100 terabytes.
Okay. So that's, you got a big library, you need transcoded, you need it transcoded fast. That's a good alternative, but you want to do it from within the WFS interface.
Correct.
What about from the encoding.com side? I know you've got deals with Tata as well, but do I need to go through you to get to encoding.com's ProMedia Carbon instance?
No, you can go direct to encoding.com.
And then I just pay their prices, and then you get whatever share that you get.
Right.
Okay.
But we do prefer that you go through us. That way we can help qualify and make sure you have better pricing than going direct.
Okay.
But that's it. Those are the 3 cloud offerings that we have. Again, the Amazon Marketplace, Elastic Compute Cloud, the EC2s, where you build your own and manage your own farm. Encoding.com, which is an immediate burst capacity, where it's managed for you, or Carbon MP, which is lightweight transcoding.
Okay. So I'm going to switch back to me for video for a second, Brian. If you want to go to your webcam, now would be a good time to do it.
All right.
So what's been the uptake? I mean, what are you seeing from your customers in general as it relates to the desirability of cloud encoding?
They like not having to purchase hardware. They like having the quick expandability. Most of our customers are moving to Blades anyway, which introduces a VM environment. This is just the next logical stage to move to. Fortunately, we haven't been doing a good job of letting everybody know that we've been here for a while.
What does a while mean?
Well, our software is software licensable. We don't have to have USB keys or dongles. We can license to the cloud immediately. There's been some more technology that we've put in there, like direct S3 transfer capability. But companies like TNT Drive or Cloudberry make it very easy to map these drives locally and use them as shared storage. The Amazon backbone is very, very fast and can handle data transfers a bit more efficiently than people would expect.
Okay, so how do you see your VOD business transitioning to the cloud? I mean, it's X% today, and where do you expect to see it in, say 3 years?
VOD traditionally has been MPEG 2. We're probably going to see more of that going into MPEG 4 and, of course, HEVC. That's the growing market.
I guess I meant VOD, meaning video on demand, as opposed to live. So how much of the, you can only buy Carbon for VOD kind of, video on demand production. So how much of that business do you think will be done in the cloud in the next, 3 or 4 years versus people buying on-premise systems to do that?
Well, if you heard about our VOS product, that's all cloud-based or VM-based. So even live is going that direction. Everything's moving towards VM. It's not just file-based transcoding. People don't want to spend money on proprietary hardware anymore. Everything is VoIP. Um, I guess I might not be answering your question directly, but we're seeing an uptick in more of the VOD space. Multi-screen is our focus.
Right.
HEVC is right on the heels, of course.
Okay, what are you seeing with? Are you hearing any demand for? Not to totally change the subject, but are you hearing any demand at all for VP9?
Little bits here and there, but the biggest demand has been for HEVC. HEVC 10-bit, which is kind of odd because there's not a lot of infrastructure to get that out in the U.S. market.
And there's no displays that can display it, right?
Yeah, they just want to see the new technology, see the direction it's going in, see the VQ improvements. Chances are people, if they do move to HEVC, are going to be using 8-bit anyway. And it's probably going to be HD or less, not much UHD pickup right now. At least not in the North American markets, but in Korea, Hong Kong, Japan, seeing a lot of interest in 4K and UHD. Okay.
Well, let's close up on the demo now. Brian, I appreciate you taking the time. It's a pretty comprehensive offering. I mean, I guess Elemental has their cloud offering and their on-prem offering. They don't have it as flexible as you have it. What are you seeing from other vendors in this space? Elemental's the only vendor I'm really aware of that's got. I guess Telstream has something that's a little bit like yours, but do you see yourself as being ahead of the curve with these offerings? I guess they came out in the NAB timeframe.
I think that we're maintaining with the curve as we expected we would. We're not tied to any specific hardware. We've always relied on compute power. With the VMs getting faster and more advanced, the way they can reposition the resources a bit more efficiently. I think we're right on target where we should be compared to others in the market. I'm pretty narrow focused on our WFS, Express, packaging, and Carbon. I do know that we've always stuck to Moore's law, and that it has its ups and downs. I think right now we're on an upswing with that. We don't have to rely on proprietary hardware as part of our service or software deployment, which is a real advantage. The next generation of CPU power with the GPU on the CPU, we're looking at our codec exporters to take advantage of this technology. So the GPU is already on board. Why do we need anything proprietary? I think we chose the right direction, and we've stuck with it, and we're moving forward.
Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time to demonstrate this today, and we'll close up here. Once again, it's Jan Ozer from the Streaming Learning Center. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Jan.